AI will change everything, and it offers the opportunity of a lifetime to everyone. But how will you ride the AI wave? Can you build a tech startup if you don't know how to code? And how do you stay on top of everything when it's all moving so fast? I explore these questions and much more with Alvin Kantapura, founder and CEO of Nexus AI and host of the Rise of Intelligence podcast. My name is Brian Gabriel Joseph, and I welcome you to the very first episode of the BG.JO.SHOW. Show. Enjoy. Cue the font animation and the intro music. Don't have any of that right now, so this will have to do. It's the BG.JO.SHOW. Show. Yay. Alvin, welcome to the Hive Tonglo.
Thank you for inviting me here. It's very nice space and I love the rooftop.
It's a pleasure. Alvin, could you tell us a little bit about Nexus and what is the problem that you guys are trying to solve? And then tell us a little bit about the podcast as well, please.
So it started about 2 years ago with the podcast first. And back then I was working for a big tech company in Bangkok. And it was an e-commerce platform. And I saw that working from inside how the country actually lacked a tech player that were native. So when we saw the wave of AI coming, we wanted to build this knowledge ecosystem where we could see more tech startups emerge within the country. So when we first started off, we were building the podcast called The Rise of Intelligence with a mission to bring world-class knowledge about AI, about startup, about technology, interviewing the best people in the country as well as around Asia to bring that knowledge to Thai business owners, to Thai startups, so that they can elevate their business and become very much globally competitive. So we started with that, and to our surprise, it really took off and it somehow hit a core with the business community, and we grew from pretty much 0 to 80,000 followers within a span of less than a year.
Congratulations.
So that was a big shock for us as well. And we turned that engagement into a community that led us to discover a product. And today we're building that product called Nexus AI.
Okay.
So Nexus AI is a meeting note taker for sales team, built to help managers get more visibility into how their sales are performing. So traditionally, managers would have to either micromanage or be in every single meeting, especially for a large sales team, in order to know what's going on, how do I improve this rep, why are we losing deals, is it the pricing, is it the product, is it the promotion, what can I improve? And in this economy, like leads are very hard to find now, so you have to actually improve how you win more deals.
Absolutely.
So what we're trying to do is we're going inside all of these meetings and we're collecting insights, and we're trying to build as insightful of a dashboard for managers to get one quick snapshot to see where the problems are before they show up in the number at the end of the month. So you can start to fix problem faster and you get more sales out of it.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for giving that overview. I'd like to learn a little bit about you personally.
Yeah.
So I've prepared a couple questions, and these touch on a little bit of personal and professional. And so I'm just going to shoot them at you, and feel free to answer as you see fit. The first one is there a quote that has stuck with you throughout your life? A quote, perhaps, that you live by?
When I was 12 to 13, I was really inspired from my uncle. He introduced me to all of the philosophy of Steve Jobs. He was really passionate about Apple. And the quote that really stuck with me from Jobs was, we think the world that we lived in is a fixed thing, that we somehow must walk the path that were drawn. But actually, it's very much shaped by human experience and people in this world. So you have a very active role in making a dent in the universe. If you choose to live your life creating and building, you can actually make an impact to your surrounding. If you see something wrong, you can make it better.
Yeah.
And listening to him, learning from Jobs, makes me want to be a part of creating the change that you actually want to see in the world. And you think that it's possible. And now building upon it for the past 10 or so years, I see that all our lives create the environment that we're living in. Like if you want to make a country better, if you want to make your city better, if you want to make your neighborhood better, it's actually upon you to take that action and create that better world. So that's something I live by.
That's beautiful, man. Kind of like being active versus being passive in a certain sense. Jobs is also one of my heroes. the biggest lesson I've learned from him is signal and noise. So I think there's so much noise, especially in our current environment. And being able to distill that and know exactly what you should be spending your time on makes such a big difference to the rate of success that you can actually have. I try to actively practice it with my team. So whenever someone comes to me and they complain about something, I just mutter noise and then I run away. Number two, professionally, what was the most challenging thing that you have ever had to go through? Like pain, real pain.
There were two moments that immediately come to mind when you asked that question. One was a few years ago. I started my career in tech company, and then I left to join a startup, and I was invited to that role by the CEO himself, and he was in a very early stage when there were about 7 or so people, and he wanted me to come in as the head of commercial. So imagine like a 24-year-old guy who was working as an analyst previously in like the big organization, and then immediately you're plucked out and you're in this management role at a startup that was growing really fast, got a lot of funding, started to hire a lot of people, and I was managing the entire sales team. And I had to grow the organization to 10 people within the span of 6 months. So we hired a lot of people. We grew really fast. Initially, everything was a hockey stick. Everything was growing well. Our sales, our target, we were blowing it all off. And then it came a critical junction when we started to really drop. Later, we learned it's because of seasonality, in that there's a seasonality in the business, but at the time, we didn't know that. So cut to the chase. During that dark period, I saw how the team that I hired, when we were really fast at hiring, how we hired the wrong people, how people began to turn, how conflict started to emerge, blame games started to happen. And that was one of the toughest period that I've actually had to go through, when employees would leave and they would point at your face and they say like, you're actually the problem, you caused this company to fail. And there's like a lot of drama, a lot of emotion. And that was one of the hardest period to deal with, especially as a first time managing such a big team. So that was one moment that really shaped my character and really taught me that hiring is such an important thing. Bringing the right people is such an important thing. And then how you react during bad times. How do you bring morale up? This is something that I had to learn the hard way. The second moment I can think of is actually now. Like building a product, you look at it from the outside, sounds very easy. Like all the apps we use on our computer, they look simple, they look easy to make. And the reality is, when you're actually behind the scene, you start to understand that the simplicity came from thinking a lot about the user experience, how to build a product that people will love. And building that actually takes a lot of work. So getting to a point where you have real product market fit, I think that's still a challenge I'm going through at the moment. And that's still something that, you're always in this uncertainty every single day, and you're trying to navigate your way into clarity. And there's an internal battle that goes on constantly that you're trying to navigate. And so that's still a challenge for me. I haven't still broken through. So these are the two moments I could think of that were the hardest in my career so
That's
far.
awesome, man. Like for the first one that you mentioned, I've heard over and over again that, especially at the early stage of the company's setup, the team that you hire really makes or breaks the entire company. And if you have the wrong team member that's going to spread the wrong culture, or it's going to inhibit the culture that you're trying to promote, it really can mean total failure. And the mistake I see a lot of founders make with that is that they don't make the cut early enough, and they believe that they can make the change. I actually have a question that I had prepared that relates to this, so I'll jump to that one. You run a very lean team, less than 10 people, maybe? Okay. With all the learnings that you have from the experiences, when you're looking at a potential team member now, what are the traits that you look for in that person?
So we hire very much based on character at this point. I really love the team size that we have. It's the sweet spot where everybody still fits in a small room. Everybody sees each other's face all the time. And you build the culture through every moment. It's not something you do in a town hall once in a while, or something you put on a wall, but it's through every interaction. So when I hire people, I look at what is it that you actually want to do with your life. Like you go very deep into that person's persona and where they see their trajectory in life.
Okay.
Because that motivation is much more important than what skills you have today.
Yeah.
Skills are now easily learnable, especially with AI. I'm learning how to code over the last year. Now I know quite a bit about how to code.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a programmer. I didn't go to get a computer science degree in university, but you could still learn that skill. You can learn how to be a good sales if you are passionate enough about what you do, right? Skills are learnable, but character is hard to shape.
Yeah.
So you either have it at the beginning or you don't have it.
Yeah.
And people who have it, you can see the fire in their eyes. Like you can get the vibe. Like you get the vibe when you meet them. Like they want to do something. They're here and they're excited. They're in the meeting room interviewing with you, and they're like the way they talk about their work, what they're building, their aspiration. It comes out through their eyes, through their voice, through their energy.
Yep.
And that energy is really infectious, especially at an early stage when you have 10 people. You need that energy to go around. You can't have like this depressed souls like, oh, I've got to work.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like,
for
it's
sure.
like if you have that guy in the room or that gal in the room,
It's just going to drain the
it's
energy
drain
from
the
everyone.
entire
Yeah,
team.
absolutely.
Things are going to be broken a lot in an early stage startup. So you got to have that mindset, that attitude that like, okay, how do we fix it? Thinking more from the upside rather than what are the downside, what are the risks, what are the concerns, and it comes out in the language that they use as well. So we look for these things during interview phase.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I completely agree, man. Just the energy is so important, and the willingness to learn is so critical because no one's going to know everything, and it's going to be so subjective to that particular situation. But if you're willing to learn and you're willing to put in the time and effort, that right attitude is going to take you very, very far. You mentioned the word excitement, and that actually relates to another question that I have now. In the current stage that you're in life, professionally, and with the company, what gets you most excited?
At the moment, my biggest mission and ambition is to build this company and have a global footprint to prove that you could build a company from Bangkok and build it for the world. I think there's a certain pride in that you could have a team. It's not just comprised of Thai people, but it's comprised of a mixed group of people from multiple nationalities. But you don't have to be an SF to build a global company. You can build a global company right from Bangkok.
Yeah.
And that gives me pride that this country still has hope. It's just an opportunity. It can attract investment. It can attract talented people.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do now. It's not easy by any measure. I understand, like, as we're doing it, I understand all the reason now why SF is a great ecosystem to build a company. And it truly is.
Yeah.
And when you try to do it elsewhere, you face a lot more challenges,
Hurdles.
roadblocks.
Yeah, for sure.
Investors don't completely understand. And they're also right in some certain point where like there's not enough exits, so there's not enough investment coming into it. Spaces is also one like where you see events happening all the time in the Bay Area, and people share idea, people meet co-founders. You get talented people who want to work in a startup. Where here you get more people who are inclined to work in a corporate job or a big company, and less so that are motivated or excited by a startup. But through all those hurdles, we want to break through, and we're seeing a lot of examples. It's not just us. I think there's plenty of startups that are on the same mission, and we're excited that we see this ecosystem full of energy and passion, and we basically want to make a mark in this world that you could build a company from Bangkok for the world.
That's beautiful, man. First of all, I love the patriotism. I believe that Bangkok, Thailand, it's a beautiful place, and there are very ambitious people here. And I feel the same for Southeast Asia as well. I'm very proudly Malaysian, and the talent that we have here, it's actually so strong, but it's building that ecosystem around it with the investments, with the talent, with the right infrastructure that we need to set them up to succeed. And kudos to you, man, for this.
Thank you. Likewise, I think what you guys are trying to do through our conversation over coffee, like I'm really excited to be working together, and I think building more spaces where talented people can meet and connect, like when we met at like the Bangkok startup event, like those type of events are necessary to build an ecosystem. So thank you for providing the space for people to share ideas and meet.
My pleasure. You mentioned something earlier about being a non-technical founder, and I'm very curious about this. So, given your background and how you didn't come from coding, what is your advice to other aspiring founders who want to build something in AI but don't come from a technical background? How do they go about it? How have you gone about it?
Honestly, I'd say get technical. Like, I would love to say that you could be a non-technical founder and build an AI today. Like, the tool is just great. Like, it will help you code, and then like all's magic.
Yeah.
But the reality is, over the past 2 years, what we've learned is that's actually a disadvantage being non-technical.
Yep.
Both co-founders. So my co-founder Mark, he's now fully in product and actively building, actively coding. So we had to turn from non-technical to actually technical in order to make it work. Because imagine like doing anything, right? Like if you run a business, let's say you run a restaurant, and none of the co-founders can cook, right? You're gonna always be dependent on that third person who's an employee who could always leave. And they're not as motivated as you, and they will not see things through a founder's lens. They'll see things through an employee lens, and it's all right and true, right? Because they're here as an employee. They'll work the 9 to 6 and they'll go home. Right? You can't expect them to basically have the same motivation as you. So if you're building something and you have that ability to craft the product itself, the product will move faster. So if you're non-technical, the good news is today it's easier to become technical than it was like 3 years ago. So get technical. And understand how to make that sausage. Because if you're going to sell sausage, you got to be good at making very great sausages. So,
that's brilliant. Cheers. AI as a whole, it's moving so rapidly, and there's such an abundance of information out there. How do you keep up to pace with it? How do you have a grasp of everything that's going on?
I used to try to listen to everything, read it, until you start to do a lot of things, and you then have no time to keep up with everything. So what I think very much similar to what you said about noise and signal, there's a lot of noise in the market. If you open your phone and you're always on LinkedIn, you will hear a lot of like everybody's like successful. There's a new product out. There's a new video. This company's going to disrupt you. Whatever, right? Until you learn that building a business in AI, not AI, whatever business, it's all about customers. And that's the only voice you should be listening to. And that simplifies a lot of things for me as well. Because when I just look at what my customers want and I look at what tools are available in the market to fix that problem, everything becomes simpler. Because then it's just about solving that problem and getting excited about that problem rather than getting excited about whether or not there's MCP out there and whether we should be using MCP to be building in our technology, or should we be integrating into ChatGPT marketplace, or what happened with like co-work at Claude, like should we be integrating into that? Like, you know, if you're always up to the hype, like you will always be building in hype. You're not excited about the people that will actually use your product. So I'd rather say get excited about those people and cut out those noise. So what I do personally today is I stopped using all social media, except for LinkedIn, because that's like where I really work. But I also limit my time there, and I try to read more. So rather than just following whatever's happening in the current cycle, I'm trying to look back at longer cycles and then read from other precedents of technology. As well as like longer form articles. There's good newsletter that I follow, like Ben's Byte. I really like that. Noah's Opinion on Substack. Like these are the two that I really hang on to. Other than that, it's just like whatever's get released, like I'll look into it, but not from a very close perspective. So I'm not always current. People will know more than me about what's happening in the field. But yeah, if you try to detach yourself a little bit, you'll find that it's not actually that fast. A lot of it is hype. And when you try to use it, it's like, oh, not everything is usable. And
everybody's just trying to jump on that bandwagon because it generates views, it generates more interaction, more engagement. You mentioned that you read. Do you read books
more often? I used to. I love reading books, and then I stopped reading. I think last year I read very little. I'm trying to read more this year. So the book I picked up, two that I'm on my shelf at the moment that I'm reading. It's Einstein. The book by Walter Isaacson about Einstein. Because I really like his biography on Steve Jobs. I finished that last year, and then I'm trying to get into Einstein, learn about how he saw the world, how because he fundamentally shaped
Mankind and the direction of our
the
species.
physics that he discovered shaped a lot of technology that we're
absolutely.
using. And you learn that when you read these books, you learn that science is actually the fundamental moving force
first
of
principles.
technology, right? Like, and you try to go back to that first principle, and it helps you think about the current wave from more first principle perspective. So that book's really great. And I'm reading The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So it talks about how countries rise and fall.
The long-term cycles, the short-term cycles.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Ray's just epic, man.
Yeah. So it gives you, so these two books, they give me bigger macro picture on what's happening. Once you understand which markets actually work, like markets in the sense like which segments you should tap into, where the money is.
Yep.
And if you're able to tap into the right segment at the right time with the right solution, then you're going to make money.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think look for those rather than look for, hey, should I be building an AI? It's not technology first. Never, like, if you go down that path, it's going to be a very long, winded road to profitability.
Yeah. Similarly, I try to think about it in a sense of like utility. Like, what is it that you actually want to build and provide value to? And then focus on the tool or that segment of AI that's actually going to get you there. So thanks for that. I'd like to wrap up with one final question. And it's probably a question that I'll ask to all the guests on the show. How do you define a fulfilling life? Like, personally, what's a fulfilling life to you?
I actually got this last year. So we're doing it now in January. So it's a very good time for that question because I just had time to reflect on like what matters to me personally. I think it comes down to family. Like that, at the end of the day, is like I have a very loving family and I'm blessed with a very loving family. I just want to get to a level where I think at the moment I'm already currently very fulfilled, but I also just want to get to a level where I'm able to have the resources to spend time to go on adventures with them and be doing what I'm love doing. So like in a certain lens, I'm already there. In other lens, I'm still also, there's still also a lot of ambition to work towards making it bigger, having more resources. But that's where I get most fulfilled and helping other people. Like the people we've been able to help through the podcast, whenever they come up to me now, it's like, oh, we learned this thing and we shifted our business in this direction. It really helped us. We got this idea and we were able to build something with that idea. Like that really inspires me to keep going as well because we're making an impact, direct impact on the people we want to make an impact on. So we really love helping business owners because they're actually the creator. The first quote, like Steve Jobs, like
totally shaping the world.
They're actually the ones shaping the world.
Absolutely.
Like most of our lived experience are shaped by creative entrepreneurs that build something in their neighborhood, like whether it's a coffee shop, a co-working space. Like they actually shaped most of our lived experience. And I want to help them become more successful.
That's beautiful. That's noble. Alvin, how can people find you? What, your LinkedIn or Nexus's website? Where can people learn more about you and what you do and the services you provide?
So I'm most active on LinkedIn. I write a lot. And I try to build the stuffs that we're doing in public and I share that on LinkedIn. Our product is on NexusAI.Asia, so you can look at that if you're into the product itself. And we have a podcast, but it's in Thai. It's on YouTube called The Rise of Intelligence.
Brilliant. Alvin, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate
doing
it.
this with you as well.
And if anyone's ever interested in dropping by the Hive Tonglo, please come by on Tuesdays as we have a free trial. We're all about supporting community and initiatives like this. So Alvin and I will be partnering up to host some events in Common Ground and the Hive in Thailand. We look forward to that. Thanks so much again, Alvin.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you enjoyed the interview, please hit the like button, leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you gained some valuable insight from this, please share it with others. And lastly, please hit subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this and to follow me on this journey. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.